Hi guys, welcome back. I'm here before 2021 because I wanted to make one more video before the new year started. And I've been doing a lot of reflecting lately on the past year, and I've come up with a lot of things that I have learned in the past year. And on this channel, I've been liking to use it as my own personal video journal / diary where I just kind of share things, and I've grown a lot on here, and you guys have come to be pretty interested in my life for some weird reason, so I figured I'd share, and maybe you can think of some other things that you have learned this year, or maybe you'll realize that you also learned these things without being aware of it. But before I do that, I want to show you some of the new things that are coming to the shop this week. So I'm pretty sure January 1st we're going to be pre-ordering these hoodies. So there's two hoodies in the collection, and it is Have a Magical Day collection. And they're inspired by Chinese takeout bags basically, or I don't know, any generic plastic bag that usually says thank you, have a nice day. These say have a magical day. So I love it so much. That is the first one that's available. Also, they're going to be available in long sleeve tees in the exact same color. This is like ash gray. It's the most comfortable looking color, and it's bright and it's beautiful. And then the other classic bag you get is the smiley face bag. And usually it says thank you at the bottom, but I just kept it at have a magical day. So these together will be available as hoodies and as long sleeve tees for the new year, and I love them, and I think you guys will love them too. They look super cool, so if you're sweating this during this video, you can go order it in a couple of days. So that's something to look forward to for you guys. If you guys want to order it, the Etsy shop is Upon a Star Supply Co. We also just did a rebrand, and that was very exciting. Okay, I have a list on my phone of the 10 things that I've learned, not in really any particular order, but just as I was thinking about them. So let's get started. So the first thing that I've learned this year is that I am a very creative person. And this is funny because like you'd think I would know that about myself, but in the past years and growing up, I would never say I was creative because sometimes I don't know, I just didn't feel creative. You should know if you're a creative person or not. And I don't know, I wasn't really doing anything creative in my life in the last few years, but this year especially, every single thing I've been doing is something creative. I obviously perform, that is very creative in itself, which I didn't realize. I've been doing that for years. I have created this whole shop and all these designs and stickers and all these things I never thought I would create. That's extremely creative. I've done photography, drone photography, I've done a lot of different creative things, and just recognizing in myself that I'm a really creative and artistic person is exciting because it feels like I was shutting myself off from that label beforehand, but anyone can be creative. You don't have to be a master at art to be creative. There's a lot of different ways to be creative. Even like baking or something like that. It doesn't just mean you can draw really well or you can come up with a short story that has such elaborate characters. Like that's creative in its own way, but it's not the only way to be creative. So that is a big thing that I've learned about myself, and I love that because I don't know, I just love that. The second thing that I've learned this year that is really important and something I've denied in the past years is that it is really good to have an opinion about anything. And what I really mean is that in the past I have been a really neutral person. I didn't like to get in arguments, I don't like confrontation, I don't like to speak my mind usually. But as this year has gone on, a lot of things have happened in the world, and there's, you know, people start speaking out about things they're passionate about. And it's really not a good thing to sit back and just not be a part of that and be like, I'm neutral, I don't care about politics. Like maybe it's really not your cup of tea, but it is important for every person, whatever country you live in. It is important to be knowledgeable about those things and to have an opinion on them. And what comes with that is being open-minded about other people's opinions as well, and not shutting out anybody else who has a different opinion than you. So I have really, learned a lot this year about the world, about important issues that are happening all the time, every single day, that I was, turning a blind eye to before, which is terrible because I didn't want to, get into an argument over anything. So learning to have an opinion on things that matter is so important. And now, I know what side I'm on for a lot of important topics, and that could even be in small things. it's good to have an opinion. So if you're somebody who right now is like, oh yeah, like I don't know how I feel about this, try and start digging a little bit deeper and learning how you feel, because you do have something inside of you that's telling you this is right, this is wrong, and that's what I believe. That's very important. The third thing that I learned this year is that the future is not guaranteed. And I feel like I have known this, but it especially was put into place this year with the coronavirus and all the things that I've been planning, even relationships that you have, people in your life. Nothing is guaranteed. You have zero idea what tomorrow is going to bring, clearly, and you can't plan for an exact future because that's just not going to happen. Maybe for the lucky person who dreams of a future and they get that to a T, congratulations, you're a miracle worker. I don't know how you do that, because life is not planned out. If it was planned out, why would we be here? You have to learn things, you have to see how you adjust to certain situations, and you cannot expect your future to look a certain way because you will be disappointed. You can't expect to hit certain goals at specific times, because then if you don't, you'll be disappointed in yourself and you'll feel like you failed, and just, you can't rely on a future that didn't happen yet. You can dream, you can plan, you can work towards goals, and that's how they happen, but you can't just expect things to always stay the same and to go in your favor if you're not constantly working towards that. And that was pretty general to say, but I feel like a lot of people will be able to relate to that. The fourth thing I've learned, and this is a huge one that I always struggle with, is that being productive does not always mean you have to be working really hard and accomplishing tasks and being so busy. Being busy does not equal productive. You can be productive by listening to your body and taking care of yourself for a day. Having a whole day of self-care is extremely productive, even if that just means sitting on the couch and watching a show that you've been wanting to watch for a long time. And something that would happen to me and still does a lot of the time is I'll sit and I'll watch something for hours and then I'll feel like crap afterwards because I didn't get anything done, or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you need that in a day to just sit and do nothing or sleep all day, that is productive. Doesn't even matter. I mean, be responsible with things like schoolwork and whatever, but if your body needs to rest. That's productive. And me being a doer always feels like I have to be, doing anything to advance my career, my creativity, my goals, and sometimes that doesn't mean that you have to be going. You can help yourself reach goals by managing your stress, by giving yourself a nice relaxing day. I have discovered that in the past couple of weeks, especially when I have been the busiest ever, that even though I did feel really accomplished at the end of every day, I wasn't relaxed, I wasn't mentally feeling that great, and you guys saw that for sure. So you know what you need, and it's still a productive day if you're just taking care of yourself. The fifth thing that I learned this year is just a simple thing. It's not simple at all, but it's not so deep. It was how to run a business, and I still don't know anything, basically. I've learned a lot, and it's funny to even call it a business because it still feels like a hobby, but like I am making money from it. I am working more than full-time on it. It's like my every waking hour, and I've had to learn how to balance that and how to create products and how to work with my own customers, not like working for a company that has its own customers. They're my customers, it's you guys. And I've had to learn how to, not lose all my money by, having a low price for items. I had to learn how to correctly price things. I had to learn how to deal with issues. The post office. I'm still figuring out how to get a business license and what to do about taxes and everything, and I'm gonna have to really do some research about that. But I never ever thought I would have a business like this, and I know it's just Etsy, but I do have a feeling that one day we'll have our own website as well, and it's been really fun to do that. Now a sixth thing that I'll learn, which is kind of funny because of the last thing, is that if you have a hobby, you don't have to turn it into making a profit. It might make it lose its magic. So for example, if you really love painting, or you really love, making clay earrings, and you really find joy in that, it doesn't mean that you have to go start a shop and sell them, because then it might make it less fun for you. And I don't regret starting a shop at all, but I realized that a lot of things that I have as small things that I enjoy, I have made them into side hustles and I have made money from them. And that's really opportunistic of me, and that's a personal thing that I really wanted to do, but I wonder if I would still enjoy it as much if it was just for myself and not for a profit and not for, making a small living from, So if you have something that you really love and everyone's like, oh yeah, you should sell those. If you don't want that to be tainted and you want it to be just for yourself or for people you love and you want to give to people, then don't start a business from it. Just keep enjoying it for yourself. And I have to keep that in mind for things that I discover in the future that are my new hobbies. I just have to enjoy them as hobbies sometimes. But if you really enjoy it and you think you could handle doing it for other people for profit, then go ahead. But just keep that thought in mind. The 7th thing that I have learned this year is that it's okay to change your mind. It applies to a lot of things. So, for example, if you have a major that you're studying in college, or if you have a future career goal, if you're not in college yet, you can change your mind. You don't have to stick to that one thing, because even if you've already graduated with a degree like me, you can change your mind. If you really think that one day you're gonna be a doctor, and then someday you wake up and you don't feel that passion and you get a weird feeling, a gut feeling, listen to that gut feeling, because you can change your mind and you're supposed to change your mind throughout your life. If someone had one goal forever, good for them, but you have to keep thinking and analyzing and making sure it's right for you, and it's okay to change your mind. For example, I was a marine biology major in college. You guys know that. Am I doing anything marine biology related? No. Did I really love learning about it and was so passionate about it then? Yes, and I don't regret it at all. I don't really need a degree to do what I want to do and be an actor and start my own business. I've learned a lot in school that, helped me be who I am today and just be a well-rounded, educated person. And I didn't need my degree for what I decided to change my mind to. It was really hard to come to the decision that it felt like I was giving up on marine biology, even though I knew in my heart that I couldn't see myself being happy doing that forever. So whatever this applies to in your life, know that you can change your mind. Maybe you're with a certain person and you think you're going to be together forever. That's not guaranteed. Again, with the other number of the future is not guaranteed. You have to just know what's best for you. If you wanted to move to a certain place, you don't have to move there just because you said you wanted to. You can change your mind. Something that goes along with this that I've learned and I'm still learning and still beating myself up about is that you're not behind anyone if you see people succeeding that are the same age as you. And that's really been a problem for me because I'm 24 and a lot of other people my age and people I went to school with are now, in full-time jobs, 9 to 5 with salaries, benefits, all that stuff, have their own apartments, maybe starting to get their own houses and are getting engaged, like all these things. And you have to know that your life is not the same as anybody else's. And even though some people accomplish things around the same times, it does not mean that you're behind them, or it doesn't mean you're ahead of people if you're the opposite of that. It's just your life. It's whatever you want it to be. So stop comparing what other people are doing, how successful other people are, and just focus on where you are. Are you happy with the goals that you're reaching? If you're not, work harder to try and, advance yourself. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm really, not in the same place as my friends and people that I know, and that's okay because they don't look down on me. They don't feel bad for me. They see that I'm working so hard. I'm creating my own things, and I love that. That was a really personal one, but I'm sure you guys can really relate to that. The 9th thing that I've learned this year came from the pandemic especially, is that you have to keep in touch with the people that are important to you. And I'm saying this because when you're apart from people for a long time, it's so easy to lose touch if you're both not trying to make it an effort. So if there are friends that you know you have the best time with, or you always want to know how they're doing, sometimes you're the one who has to reach out because people get really busy. It was a very stressful year, and having times where you connect is so important. And especially just a Zoom call. I've learned a lot about, just a simple Zoom call can change your whole mood, or playing a virtual game like Among Us or something like that, Quiplash, I don't know, with people you love makes you feel really connected to them. If you don't keep up with the people in your life that you don't want to lose, you probably will lose them. I don't live anywhere near my friends. We all live in different states pretty much for the most part, but it does take an effort to get everyone together or get a call set up, but it's worth it, and you don't want to lose people who are important to you. Then again, you have to be constantly analyzing your relationships and deciding if it is that important to you, and if they are great friends or if they are a great partner in life. You have to keep thinking about who really serves you as a person and who helps you be a better person, who you love to be around, who makes you so happy. And this is getting very deep, but you just have to constantly be thinking about that, because some people aren't worth the effort to put in. If they're not giving it back to you ever, maybe you need to find somebody else. And I definitely think that you guys should always be keeping in touch with people you want to keep in touch with and keep in your life, and maybe think about the relationships that aren't helping you at all. The 10th thing that I have learned this year is that people look up to me. This is a personal thing, but also I hope you guys realize that you can be an inspiration to literally anyone. You don't have to have a platform like this. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. Just in your own daily life, whatever that might look like, you could be an inspiration to somebody, to a sibling, a younger sibling, a cousin, a friend. Someone out there looks to you and is inspired by you and who you are in your own unique way. And personally, I've realized that just putting my life out here on the internet, like some of you watch every single video and comment on every single video, and that means so much to me, and I hope you realize that. But it makes me feel more worth, and I hope you don't need other people's validation and support to feel worth, but it definitely adds to my own self-worth, and I hope you guys know that you've done that for me this year. And it makes me realize, like, I'm not doing nothing. Even on days where I feel like, oh, I'm so lazy, like I'm not getting anywhere with anything, there's somebody out there that's thinking about my videos or watching it right then and there and being inspired by the things I choose to do and being creative in their own way or applying to the Disney college program sometime in the future. And that's amazing, and it helps me go to bed at night and feel proud of putting my life out here. But I hope you guys can all learn from that and my own experience and realize that someone is looking up to you as well. And it's just a reminder to just keep being authentic, because there's a lot of influencers out there that don't really show a personality side of them. It's just all like the same picture perfect lifestyle, and while that works for a lot of people, it wouldn't work for me. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to me in a lot of ways and things that I mention that I struggle with and whatever. So just continue to be authentic. Know that you don't have to fit a certain image or look a certain way or have a certain personality trait for people to be inspired by you. If your goal is to just inspire one person, just keep being yourself, and I swear someone will appreciate that and be a better person because of you. It's possible for everyone in the world as long as you're a decent human being, which I know you all are. Those were the 10 things that I learned. Maybe comment down below something that you've learned that's important to you. I would love to hear what you guys learned in this insane, historic year. A lot of you might have gone through the worst time of your life. Maybe you even had a really great year despite all the problems and issues in the world, and that's amazing for you. I just would love to know how you guys are doing, because you're a big part of my life. And thank you for watching this. Thank you for being a part of my life in the past year, and I wish you guys the happiest new year. I'll see you now in 2021. Don't forget, if you want one of these, follow us on Instagram, Upon a Star Supply Co., and look out for when these drop. It's exciting. Okay.